We allow too many things to become obstacles between ourselves and your presence. Touch our lives with your love, light, grace, healing, and fill our worship with your Holy Spirit, that we may offer our lives in praise to you when we pray. For it's in and through your holy name we pray above all names. Amen. All right. Announcements for January 17th, 2020. If you'd like to reserve a seat for next service, please sign up at the rear of the sanctuary, or you can use our online registration form during the week. Seating for January and February is currently open. January's meditation art class is scheduled for this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The cost for the class is $25 for material and instruction. No experience necessary or required. All the help and vision that you might need, you may receive through the inner child of yourself and through the lovely instruction of our wonderful Reverend Lori. Now, are there any other announcements? None? Wow, quite a bunch today. All right, at this time, we'll have a music video.
What do I do if I'm not chasing anything? What do I do if I've got everything that I need? It's a question that no one's prepared me to answer. Where do I go if I'm right where I'm supposed to be? Where do I go if wherever I am home? It's a question I'm presently wanting to answer. If the usual way doesn't work for me now, that's a void I know nothing about. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What do I say if it's all perfect anyway? What do I say if I'm not here to change anyone? It's a question I truly don't know how to answer. How do I live if my life is eternity? How do I live if I'm no longer afraid to die? It's a mystery, no one can give me an answer. If the usual way doesn't work anymore, there's no map for what life has in store. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over, what then? What is the purpose of time here on earth? How do I now define my death and birth? For that matter, what is my life really What's mine to give and what's mine to receive? Whom do I worship? What do I believe? Seems every answer comes right back to me in the end. What if the race is over and we all automatically win? What if the game is ended long before it even begins? What if the test has been taken and we're all passing again and again? If the race is over and we're all born victorious, if the race is over, what then?
If you would now join me speaking together Unity's foundational principle. There is only one power, one presence active in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. And when we're truly living out these principles, not just speaking them, but living them out, when we live this principle and we walk our talk, we're a thriving spiritual community here to inspire one another to realize God's love. Centered in the Spirit of God, we see peace, love, and abundance in an awakening world. Our daily word for Sunday, January 17th, 2021 is dream. And the affirmation, I turn my dreams into reality. Some of the most audacious, bold, history-making events began as dreams, born in the imaginations of those who understood the promise and potential of humanity and worked to realize their vision. Even if my dreams do not change the world, they have the power to change my life. Today, I remember those whose dreams were fueled by their hard work, faith, and determination. I look to their example when my dreams feel far away and I'm running low on hope. I rekindle my dreams through my imagination, which keeps them vivid. My strength helps me remain committed to their realization, and my enthusiasm to work towards creating the life and the world of my dreams. Joel chapter 2, verse 28 says, your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God when I pray. I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God.
And let us now prepare for a time of quiet and meditation, of going within, becoming still, simply surrendering to that obvious presence in this space, for surely the presence of God is in this space. So I invite you to get very relaxed in your chair. Let any thoughts of tomorrow or yesterday slip away, any worries, any troubles. This is your time with God. And I invite you to open fully as I simply express this prayer of Elizabeth, the woman of the chalice who represents the power of faith. And just take that in and allow this to embrace you and lift you. Now in this moment, I enter the seclusion of my soul. I abide in the presence, so I am not afraid. I am the one who watches in the dead of night to welcome the first faint blush of dawn across the velvet blue. I am the quiet knowing that beneath the frost of every winter lie the sleeping seeds of the fresh white blossoms of a new spring. These things I perceive in my mind's eye, and so I tend my garden in the desert, pouring water on the lifeless sand, whispering promises of roses yet to be. I have seen many summers and waited through many winters. I have seen the cycles of my womanhood come and go and come and go and come no more. And yet I have trusted, for God is my oath. God is not finished with me, not yet, not ever. I am a vessel to a holy purpose. Reproach and doubt is removed from me, for deep inside me, in the holy place of birth, new life is stirring. I feel it, and I know a door is opening. It is never too late. Nothing is too wonderful to happen or too good to last. Blessed am I for believing that the word of God is now fulfilled. I am faith in spirit. I am Elizabeth, woman of power. And we relax into that prayer. Open fully and allow that sweet, loving, light-filled energy to flow through you, releasing the old, easing and restoring, every cell rejuvenated. Breathe deeply, cleansing, and simply imagine yourself completely free as the water falling in a waterfall off its high, lofty place, cascading down easily into a pool of quietude, and simply rest there and listen. Listen with inner ears to that sweet sound of spirit. Watch and observe with inner eyes. Breathe and enjoy the stillness and sweetness that being with God brings, the comfort, the freedom, the security. Listen, observe. As you continue to enjoy this sweet conversation, notice how light your body feels, even in just a few minutes of stillness. Imagine while resting in that quiet pool that your surroundings become lighter and brighter, revealing more of the beauty of life. Take an inner gaze at your journey, both past and present, how far you've come, what a ride it has been. And see the steps before you, the tomorrows, bright, filled with potentiality and possibilities. Relax, knowing God's got this. Relax, knowing the way has been made straight, and you will know what step as it appears. So in this delightful day of rest, we celebrate. We celebrate that love, that eternal love. And as we bring our attention back to this space, let us set an intention in this brand new year to be that voice of God, to be that heart, those hands, that music, that song, that dance, that sparkles and lights others to sparkle too. Let us lift those who are doing the hard work in the trenches in this great recovery, reinvention, renewal that we are all a part of. Let us embrace those on the front lines and lift them, knowing they have everything they need. And let us collectively lift the human spirit in a unison and unity of humanity and harmony. Thank you, God, for this opportunity to know you more, to love you more, to serve you more. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Thank you, Chief. I don't know if there's ever been such a profound speaker and such a light of God. And we celebrate all that he embodied this week. And today I'm wearing this beautiful scarf, hand-beaded. Isn't it pretty? I wear it specifically in January as a sign of faith because it was given to me by an extraordinary woman whose entire life embodied the teachings of Dr. King. She taught me a lot about him and about his journey and his life and his meaning. And she just embraced that knowledge of God in her. She was born in what was pretty typical in her neighborhood, a typical black family, many children. She was one of many. And she was raised by what she would call a very strict and stern father, I would call abusive, who told her whole life she would never amount to anything. And she better not even think about going to college because she needed to just go get a paycheck. But something in her was called higher. And maybe that drove her to a higher vision of herself. She was raised in a very strict church, Baptist church, where the Bible was used as a weapon, as a tool to instill fear and control in the children. But somehow she persevered. This woman of color back in the 50s was able to not only go to school and get her nursing degree and then on to get her master's, but also her doctorate. Can you imagine at that time in history? Not only did she do that, she joined the army and for over 36 years served as a nurse in the fields and trained. In that time, as a black woman, growing up in military, she became a colonel. This woman was my friend. I met her through my first minister, Reverend Tina. You probably know her. They were best friends and served together in those trenches. Her story is extraordinary. And everywhere she went, she embodied that principle of faith in a way I have never seen it exampled. She was extraordinary. She walked on to her next assignment a few years ago. In our last visit, I brought her a silk scarf I had painted for her that said faith on it. And she just smiled. When she joined our Unity Church, she became one of our lifelong chaplains and chaplain trainers. And even before she understood the first 4 principles, she was working the 5th. She did the principles from the bottom up, kind of like she lived her life. She just started working the principles. Every morning praying to God, expand my territory. Let me do great things today. She taught me more about God than I could ever imagine. An extraordinary woman. I remember so much about her. I remember waking up after having back surgery. And it was in the middle of the night, and I was just hazy, and I looked over to a face that I recognized. It was her, next to my bed, with a chair, reading a book. I looked down. She had bought me this beautiful red pashima. And she just smiled. She said, I'm keeping your nurses in check. I'm like, I bet you are. I'm in good hands. And she had to travel hundreds of miles just to be there for me, because that's just who she was. She just served wholeheartedly in everything she did. And she brought this home to me from Dubai, where she served in a hospital to help get it organized and structured. She was an extraordinary woman, so exquisite in everything she did. And I think about her in these times of turbulence. And I think about how she would be like that group of veterans and retired police officers. And the day after the terrorists stormed the Capitol, they went in the day after with trash bags, cleaning, picking up, doing the right thing. What an example. She wrote a book called Angel Wings about being a woman in the military. Those of you that have served know what I'm talking about. And it's helped millions and millions of people. She was a healer and a woman of faith. She used to laugh when she'd tell me, and you know, my daddy didn't even think I could be a nurse, and I'm a doctor. Like you are. That faith that she had, that she planted everywhere she went, she was a force to be reckoned with. And in such a beautiful way. We used to have her teach a class at our church called Who Moved My Cheese? Have you ever read that book? It's a book about not just dealing with and accepting change, but thriving through it, being the cause of it, marching through it with great faith and joy and perseverance. And that's what this month and this power is about. It's about seeing that promised land wherever we go and planting the seeds of what can be as we go along. I think about her when times get rough for me, and I think, oh, Laurie, You didn't come up through the ranks of the military as a black woman in the 50s and 60s, did you? No, I did not. I got this, right? We got this. And we've got it because we've got it together. When I saw those people going into that house of the people, cleaning up, taking care, putting things back, we got this. Everywhere we look, there is faith. Everywhere we look, there is hope. Everywhere we go, we can be that light. After she retired, she interviewed for a position at one of our top military academies. And there she was. It was a Skype interview, and she could see all these generals and deans in her screen. Of course, she was dressed to the nines, the class act that she always was. And they were asking her tough questions, but this was a tough lady. How are you going to lead as a woman these cadets? Of course, that school had just enlisted more females than ever, so she was excited about that. And she already had them because of just what she emulated in her prose. And she said, well, I have an example of that for you. And they just kind of looked surprised. She lifted up one of her feet, that beautiful long leg, and there was a red heel, high heel on the end of it. They just kind of looked at her, and she lifted up the other foot all the way up to the screen, and there was a well-worn combat boot on the other foot. That's Sharon. They stood and saluted her, and she got the job. That's Sharon. Oh. Next week, we're going to go really deeply into Matthew 14, a little metaphysical jaunt into the story about Peter walking on water when Jesus called him out of the boat. It's a profound story. That whole week that Jesus was in Galilee and he was feeding the 5,000 and he was heading home. He didn't want to take the boat. He wanted to go to the mountaintops. After being with the crowds, he always went to the mountains to pray, to be with God, to feel that power and that energy. And he sent the disciples on in the boat, and they came up on that terrible storm. And he came down from the mountaintop, went out into the water. They saw him out in the water as the storm was still raging. And Peter said, Lord, do you want me to come to you? And Peter got out of the boat. Peter is the disciple that represents the power of faith. Peter is Sharon to me, the fifth principle. He got out of the boat. He got out of the boat. That's what faith requires. When he saw the storm raging, he started sinking. And Jesus outstretched his hands and said, ye of little faith. But the point of that story is Jesus got out of the boat. Let's get out of the boat. Let's serve right where we are. I see little satellite branches of study groups around this entire Marion County area. We're getting people asking about us from all over. This is an exciting time for unity. And we're kind of done being quiet, right? We need to be heard. We got this. So William, if you would help me pass out these mustard seeds. What I have here is if you were with us last year, you probably have one of these from last year. Although these are a little bigger. I thought I ordered the same ones, but they came bigger. This is just a little jar with mustard seeds in it. There's probably a dozen or so mustard seeds in your jar. And what I invite you to do as an act of faith in planting seeds is those areas in your life that you want increased, that you want to see lifted up, that you want to see the wholeness that God can bring to that. Let's start planting these seeds in those places. I know you guys had a lot of fun with this last year. You were going to financial institutions, planting seeds outside in the bushes to ensure those savings accounts grow, but also to places that you wanted to see more help brought to and given, those places that you volunteer at and that the church tithes to. But leave a few in your jar, and some of you planted them and they sprouted. But this mustard seed, which is the verse that we're going to go deeply into next week, where Jesus says, if your faith is but the size of a mustard seed, that's all you need for God to grow it into a tree. The mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds. It's no bigger than a tip of a pencil. But it grows bigger than an oak tree. It's a bushy, huge tree who nourishes the ground and the plants around it, whose roots stretch deep into the sea, into the sea maybe if it's around there, into the earth, and stabilizes it from erosion, and grows to lofty heights that other creatures find safe harbor in. Isn't that a symbol of God? And the seed itself brings a pungent flavor to everything it imbues. It's a beautiful example of God in our life. There's a little tag attached to this, and what I encourage you to do is spend some time in meditation and write on that tag what it is that God is going to increase in you, in your territory, in this new year. It may be the name that came to you on the white stone. It may be a new course of direction in your life, whatever that is. Give it some time. And our homework this week was inspired by that beautiful group of veterans that went in and cleaned and blessed and sanctified that people's temple. Let's do 7 random acts of kindness this week to start off our time of that we celebrate Martin Luther King and the work that he did as we go into a season of nonviolence. 7 acts of kindness throughout the week, 1 each day. Whatever that is, go a little beyond your comfort zone. You know, I read where someone in a fast food line started a chain. They went through and paid for the car, and the next car paid for the car behind it, and behind it, behind this. I guess this went on for how long? 100? Oh my goodness. That's what happens when we decide and make the decision to be steeped in faith and rise above the noise and be prepared to be that light of God. I'm excited. I'm excited. Have you felt the shift already? There's a lightness. There's a, oh, okay, we've had enough of this. Let's try this. Let's try kindness. Let's try light. Let's try showing up for each other in the way that human beings show up for each other. I feel it. And so I'm going to leave our time with, I've got this great new book of poems. It's not new. It's been out there for a while. It's just new to me. I had not heard of it. It's called Susceptible to Light. It's this extraordinary poet whose words just kind of flow from her. And this one especially touched my heart. It's called Rain Dance. Just take this with you in your week as you make the determination and intention to be kind and do kind acts. Search for the best possible human love, and when even that proves unsatisfactory, your heart will become a desert, so parched for God and the dry earth of your being, so desperate to be quenched, that it'll turn your every moment into prayer, your every movement into a prayer. The rest of your life will become a rain dance, beseeching divine showers. Let's do a rain dance. Thank you. I love you guys. So let us prepare for that next part of our service as we go into a time of giving what has been so joyously and lovingly given to us. And thank you for your love offerings, your tithings. This Unity Church tithes to this community, to those places especially underserved in our area, those places that include veterans serving veterans, which are always so grateful to get our checks, and those sleeping on cement pillows that William supports. And it's that time of the year we're going to be getting those resources for them. We tithe to areas that take care of the abused, both animals and humans in this community, those that take care of our elders and our children, our educators and our healers. So thank you for your tithes and love offerings, and let's hold them with full intention and say our prayer for them together. divine love flowing in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Some of his quotes. Let's just enjoy these. Dr. King.
Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. Think I finally learned, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. I think it's time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, broken heart and slamming door. I'll be alright, yes I will, once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. So bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new.
We are going to have him here doing that song this year. My friend Daniel. Bring it on. Oh, let us say with full intention for this world our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being here. There are quotes of Dr. King on the table in the back if you'd like to take them with you and just honor his work and his light this week especially. Thanks for being here. Have a great day. It did.